Yo, we just people from the north side. Want some Timmy's at the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on the own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, your boy George Mackay here live with the new reigning defending Destiny World Wrestling Champion. Well, you will be defending. You will be soon. The new reigning Destiny World Wrestling Champion, Mr. Dijak. How are you, sir? Thank you for coming on Straight Talk.
I'm great, dude. Thanks for having me on Straight Talk. I appreciate that.
So real quick, a couple questions. I know you're tired, you're exhausted. I won't take up too much of your time. But the MLW run that you had, or that you're on right now, it's been a fun run. I've enjoyed watching you work. What's it been like being able to have that creative freedom that you can only really have outside of that WWE bubble?
I mean, creative freedom's probably the wrong term. It's more like creative trust, which, I mean, there was elements of trust, obviously, in WWE. MLW is treating me very well, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity for them to collaborate in a different scope, on a different level. I always wanted to have the opportunity to prove myself as a top guy, and I feel like in MLW and in Destiny and places all across the world, I think I'm finally getting that opportunity. I really appreciate that, right? Because I've always felt very confident in myself and my abilities. I train very hard, I focus very hard, I study very hard, and I take this incredibly seriously. So anytime I'm given an opportunity, I do my very best to knock it out of the park and exceed expectations. And I think that companies like this, like Destiny, and companies like MLW are really giving me that opportunity. I'm very thankful, and I'm not going to waste an opportunity like that.
Absolutely, and I would have to agree with you. Thank you for correcting me, because you're right. Creative trust is definitely the word. Yeah. But what is it about having that creative trust?
Sorry to interrupt you. Creative freedom makes it sound like I'm just booking myself, right? Like this isn't it's not my show, right? I'm not, Hulk Hogan, but but it's unnecessary shot there, but maybe necessary. So I want everyone to understand that I have no desire to be a booker. I just want my ideas to come to life, and I want to be put in a position where I can prove to people my value and my worth, and I feel like I'm really getting that opportunity. So I always appreciate that.
You absolutely are 100%. Like I said, I've enjoyed the MLW run. I'm such a fan of MLW. I've followed the product for years now. I even had MLW Rewind podcast for a while, which we discussed and talked about MLW. It's been a little bit hard because there's just not enough content really to put out there. Yeah, so it's difficult.
I hope there's more. We've been doing really, really well with the houses. I think the last 6 or 7 shows in a row have sold out. I think they were selling out even before I got there. So and since I've been there, I've been on I think 7 or 8 now in a row, and we've sold out every single venue.
Well, I'm hoping for the week-to-week.
That's what I'm hoping too, and I think they're trying to get there. It's always difficult to have that sort of that NXT Full Sail like on Hulu thing that we were doing back in 2017, 18 before we went to USA, where it's like you tape 4 episodes in a row and then it goes for 4 weeks and then you tape the next one, right? I think TNA does something similar to that. So that's a difficult format, right? To get a crowd to sit there and like absorb 4 weeks of TV and stuff. But it does give you a lot of content to have the week-to-week product, which I think is nice. MLW is doing really well, where I think we could start running more shows more often. And it obviously there's a financial aspect to this that I don't have any control over, and I don't balance the books or anything. But just I think we have the talent, I think we have the skill set, I think the production's there, I think the leadership is there with Court. I think that it's a possibility, and I hope it becomes a reality.
And when you're looking at bookings and stuff like that, not even MLW, when you're looking at the indie bookings, is it matchups that intrigues you to a booking? Like, I mean, promoters can always be respectful and be nice, but is it a matchup that intrigues you to that booking?
Honestly, everything intrigues me. I'm such a I don't want to say student of I am a student of the game, but I'm such a bleeding heart for professional wrestling. I look at everything as such a wonderful opportunity in the ring. If someone is great, I say great. I can't wait to get there with someone who's great. If there's someone who's brand new, they're green, they've never had a main event match before, that's such a huge opportunity for me too. Because what a opportunity for me to teach someone or to get in there with someone who has fresh ideas and a new outlook on things. Everything to me. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They said, "What's your favorite part of this?" And I said, "Every time the bell rings. Every time the bell rings." Right? There's other things, right? The travel. I flew. Today's travel, by the way, was an episode, right? I got on a plane. It had I've never been on a spinny propeller plane before. We tried to land and then pulled back up, and the captain was like, we're going to recircle the airport for 30 minutes, and maybe we'll land. We have enough gas to circle for 30 minutes, and we all look at each other like, what happens after 30 minutes? And nobody knew. And then we land in like legit 6 inches of snow, and I'm looking at the wheels, and the wheels come out of the propeller. It's this wild plane, and I'm landing on like this small island in Toronto that I didn't know existed, and the snow's flying everywhere, and I'm like, this is a nightmare. Like, I don't, this is the opposite of what I usually. So yeah, travel is not always the best part of my job. There's a lot of the business aspect, the negotiating aspect, the fill-in dates, the canceling dates. There's a million parts of pro wrestling that's a business. What's never a business for me is when the bell rings, I'm in the ring, right? That is never a chore. It's never a difficult, I never go, oh, I got to wrestle, or oh, I'm too sore. Everything is a gift because I know one day I'm going to be 60 years old and I'm going to look back at this and say, man, I wish I could get in the ring one more time. It's not going to be possible, right? Because one day I'm going to retire and that's going to be it. And that's going to be a super sad day for me. I get to spend more time with my kids and stuff. But ultimately, this is a huge part of my life, and it's a huge passion of my life. So any opportunity I get to be in the ring, I don't care if the other person doesn't want to be there. I don't care if they've never wrestled before. I don't care what the situation is. I love being in the ring and wrestling people. It's always an opportunity. It's always a pleasure. And the second that it stops being that for me will be the day that I no longer lace these boots up.
I can see the passion when you're talking, and I feel the passion when you're talking, and I love that. And I want to ask about Retribution, because I think Retribution was a solid idea and a solid concept. I just don't think it was ever done correctly or creatively where it could have succeeded a little bit more. I feel like there was a lot more meat on that bone.
Yeah, I don't know for certain what the backstage portion of this is, and I've said this endless times. It's my understanding, I heard through the grapevine that at some point within the first few weeks of what we were doing, that the Fox network said, we don't like this, it's too close to Antifa or whatever, and we don't want this on our show anymore. I think that was the end of any chance that we had. And I'm not saying that that's the wrong decision, right? If you can't be on Fox, then the whole hostile takeover thing doesn't make any sense anymore. So I think at that point, in Vince's eyes, it just became, well, I'm just gonna
shelve this idea.
Right. Yeah. We'll put them on TV to get the Hurt Business over. Right. That basically became what we were there for. And obviously, we wanted more out of it. Right. These are some of my best friends. These are some of the best professional wrestlers in the world. There's Mustafa Ali, Shane Hayes now, Mason Madden. I mean, all these people are signed to major companies. They're all excellent talents. Mia Yim, obviously. So yeah, we believed in ourselves. There just became a creative roadblock. And again, I'm not saying that that this was some sort of nefarious, horrible decision. I just think that it was a business thing that just happened, and that was the conclusion of it. So, do I wish it went differently? Did I pitch lots of ideas and want it to be something completely different, but within the same realm? Yeah, that happened all the time. I'm on the record many times saying that I pitched a number of things, including some of the members. And, the masks I wanted as entrance masks and things like that. Ultimately, some of that stuff didn't end up happening. It's okay. What ended up happening is I ended up getting an opportunity to do opening monologues on Monday Night Raw, to main event Monday Night Raw, to be the focal point of Monday Night Raw for, a period of time. And that's every wrestler's dream. So I mean, was it what I pictured in my dream? No, but it was still that, and we still got to do it. And it was a great opportunity. It was a great financial opportunity for us and our families and stuff. So it ended up leading back to me getting this wonderful opportunity with NXT. So right, I try to look at the positives. Right, there's a lot of negatives that I was focusing on for a very long time. It's much more effective for me to focus on the positives because there's a lot of them, and a lot of them lead me to opportunities like this and opportunities like this. So I'm very thankful for all of that.
Absolutely. I can see that. I agree with that. And sometimes I have to remind myself, because I've been grinding at this podcast thing for 11 years, and the amount of doors that get slammed in your face, but occasionally you get those yeses.
I tell my students all the time, 1,000 no's for every yes, right? You got to keep hustling. You got to keep reaching out. You never know what's going to hook or catch fire. You just got to keep grinding, right? And maybe one day that doesn't come, but you look back at it and you say, I don't have any regrets. I did everything that I possibly could. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. I agree with that. I love that. I love that. Final question. I'm going to let you go enjoy the rest of your evening. But when it comes to Donavan Dijak, the father and the wrestler, talked about spending time with your kids. What do your kids think about when they see daddy on TV and they're like, oh, man, why are you so scary, bro? But you're like one of the nicest human beings I've ever met, and that's honest and truth.
It's the first time anyone's ever asked me that, so I appreciate the question. Yes. I'm going to give you the God's honest truth. All right. My kids don't give the slightest F about me being on television. Every time I was on Raw or NXT, I would turn the TV on. I'd be like, hey, do you guys want to watch Daddy on TV? No, not really. No. My son would go, did you win? And I go, no, I didn't win, but it's not, it's predetermined. And he's like, oh, well, you should have won. And then he goes and he plays with Legos or whatever. And I'm like, all right, bro, like, sorry. It's so it was a lot of that. I was able to thank you so much to Shawn Michaels, because he always listened to my ideas and wanted to execute them with his sort of touch on it, which always made it better. I went to him with the idea for Battleground to include my family in the ringside entrance. They were so psyched to do that. They were so pumped to be there. My kids love, they've only done it one time or twice now. My kids love, 3 times actually, to be like ringside at live professional wrestling, to watch me wrestle, like when they're there and they can interact and they're screaming and go daddy, go Donovan, they love that. They're huge in-person fans, but the second I turn on the TV, they're like, put on Bluey.
Okay, come on, we got to talk Bluey. Father to father. Is Bandit not the dad you strive to be? That's like the coolest dad of all dads, honestly and truly.
My daughter loves Bandit. Like, she wants me to be Bandit. And I try to live up to that. We play Keepy Uppy, we play Magic Statues. These are her favorite games, right? I think there's one more that I'm not remembering, but my daughter loves Bluey, and I strive to be the father that Bandit is. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So that's one of my goals in life. I love my children and my family, my wife Ashley, more than anything in this world. So everything I do is for them. Every show that I go to, they're at the root of my cause and my desire. So thank you for asking about them. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, from a father to a father, my kids and my wife are my life too, and they are inspire me so much every day. So to get a chance to share the fatherhood bond there for a second is pretty cool. Now, of course, bonus question: what's your favorite Bluey episode? Do you have a favorite? Mine's Granny Mobile. I love Granny. I love me some Muffin. Muffin is solid.
What's the dream one? I really like that.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I don't know the name, but I know the one.
I can't remember the name. Something Dreams. Yeah, that one. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it.
It's the one where Bingo's stuffed animal, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you like the tearjerker ones, eh? Those are the ones that make you a little misty-eyed.
Yeah, that's what I like. If I can get a little tear going over a cartoon dog, then you've done your job.
Misty.
Good job, BBC Australia. Yeah, well done.
Well done. Coming to Disney World apparently in 2020.
Coming to Disney World. That's right. I forgot. I'm going to Disney World end of April vacation. I'm going to see Bluey. We're going to give Bluey a big hug. It's going to be a blast. Be there, be square.
Amazing. I would love to talk Bluey all day with you, but I want you to go get safe, chill out in your hotel room. But before you go, can you give that Dijak energy and just say, hey, you did have a fun conversation with Straight Talk Wrestling, and maybe some people should try to subscribe and give me a chance.
Hell yeah. Feast your eyes on Straight Talk Wrestling. Like, subscribe. Are those the things that you do? Those are the things you should do. Do them all. That's enough talk. Now it's time to do or die, Jack.
Peace, love, and wrestling, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Yo. We just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.